What is going on, guys? I'm so glad that you've come and joined me, and today we are going to draw a picture of Batman. So let's just jump right into this, and I'm going to just go over some of the materials that I'm going to be using, and if you don't have the same stuff that I do, that's okay. Make do with what you got, and yeah. So I'm going to be using markers, but you could use crayons, you could use colored pencils, whatever you got. So the first thing that I'm going to use is my mechanical pencil, and this has 2H lead in it, and I have the tip of the pencil dulled down a little bit. It's not very sharp. So when you're sketching out things, it's a good idea to get a hard pencil, and what that does is it allows you to sketch out things, and allows you to do very light lines, okay, just like this right here. So this is a very light line, and it allows you to be creative. It allows you to experiment things and not really commit to lines. So this line right here, I could just erase it, and the hard lead allows me to erase it very easily, as opposed to a regular pencil. And if you don't have a pencil with hard lead, then what you can do is just be very careful and sketch very lightly. So my mechanical pencil, that's the first thing that I'm going to use. The second thing is a liner pen, okay? And if you don't have a fancy schmancy liner pen, that's fine. You could use any pen that you find that has a fine tip, preferably with a fine tip. Okay, so this right here has a fine tip on it. And then some other examples are this pen. These are just some pens that I found laying around the house. These right here. These aren't ideal, but you know what? They will do. And this Sharpie. So you may have some of these pens just lying around the house, and they will do you just fine. Okay, so the rest of the materials that we're gonna be using today is since Batman we're dealing with some dark colors, we're gonna get creative, and we're gonna use a few different shades of gray. So I have my black marker here, and I have a warm gray, and then a cool gray, and another cool gray, and then I have a neutral gray. So getting, you know, and if you don't have all of these, you can just use a you know, a couple different shades of gray. That'll do just fine, or some black and a shade of gray. Be creative and make it work for you. So then we're going to have a yellow marker, and then a few different skin tones. And then along with that, the next materials that I'm going to use is a yellow colored pencil and a white colored pencil. Okay, so I like to keep all the materials that I'm going to use in this handy dandy bag. That way my desk doesn't get too cluttered up. Alright, so let's get started with our... We're going to just get started with a real rough sketch of Batman. So we're going to get started with a nice big circle. We're going to give Batman... We're going to go for a cartoony look here. We're going to give Batman a round face. So we're sketching very lightly, okay? And we're not really committing to any lines. I'm just going to do a rough big circle here. And it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. Okay, so we got our little circle here. Let's see. And he's not going to have a fully perfect circle for a head, so let's just start shaping it up. Give him a nice jawline right here. And then, let's see, maybe the side of his head right here are going to be kind of straight up. And then we're going to come around. Like that. There we go. And shape it up a little bit more. And we're going to be erasing a lot of this, so that's why we're sketching very lightly. Okay. Inside here, we can just erase that. Okay. Go ahead and erase this too, and then right here. Use my eraser a lot, that's why it's so tiny. Okay, so I'm liking the shape of his head a little bit better. So we started off with a circle. We just kind of shaped it up a little bit. Okay. Let's give him his little, I'm not sure what you call them, his little pointy things at the top of his head. them long. And then, here we go, top of his head right here. So yeah, I didn't really like the way that turned out. I'm going to do that line again. We can take our time and go slow. We're in no rush. Okay, I like that a little bit better.
Because that's what needs to happen. Because sometimes truth isn't good enough.
Let's see. So what I did here is I just drew a line going through that just because I want it to be symmetrical. Okay. And then we can go ahead and erase this. And so the top of his head, because we're going to give him the illusion that he is turned sideways slightly. So the pointy thing on the top of his head right here is going to go behind, the top of his head is going to go behind this pointy thing, and this side of his head is going to go in front of it. Alright, so we're going to continue on and give Batman some eyes. We're going to give him some big eyes. And we're going to do sort of like little, we're going to do some triangles for his eyes. Some upside down triangles. And then, so since we're gonna go for a 3D look and try and make him look 3D. When we look at Batman, his right eye, or left eye, it would be my right eye, his left eye, is a little bit further away from us. So it's gonna be, from a perspective, it's going to look a little bit smaller. Okay, and then do his little spot for his mask, for his face to come out.
Because that's what needs to happen. Because sometimes truth isn't good enough.
Let's see. And sometimes drawing a guideline. I should have done this first. Sometimes drawing a guideline for the center of the face helps out. And if you do a very light line, you're gonna erase it and it's not gonna matter. Just helps you when when you're drawing a character that is turned, helps you keep things in perspective. And we got our face for our bat. The Batman. Maybe this eye could be a little bit bigger. Say. There we go. I think I like that much better. And there we got his face. That wasn't too tough. All right. So now, let's see. We're going to give him some shoulders. And some arms. And remember, we're just sketching out really lightly and getting a general form of what his body's going to look like.
Because that's what needs to happen. Because sometimes truth isn't good enough.
Okay, so now we got our sketch of Batman, and at this point, what you want to do is you want to fix any little mistakes. You want to make Batman look the way that you want him to look. Okay. Because now what we're going to do, we are going to move away from our pencil. And we're going to get our pen out. And so where should we start? Let's start from the top and work our way down. And we're just gonna trace him and follow the lines.
Because that's what needs to happen. Because sometimes truth isn't good enough.
Alright, we got our line art done. So the next step is fix any little mistakes you made. And try to make any little mistakes you made into not mistakes. There we go. And we're going to give this a few minutes to dry. And then what we're going to do is take our eraser and we're going to just remove all that pencil. It's just going to clean it up a little bit. So depending on the pen that you have, you're going to want to maybe give it a little bit longer. But I find that these Steadliner pens, the ink dries pretty fast. There we go. That's about all of it. And now, let's get to the coloring. Okay. So, for the leather on Batman's suit, I'm going to use a combination of cool gray and black. Okay. So we're gonna do sort of like the edges in this cool gray to just give his suit some shininess to it.
Because that's what needs to happen. Because sometimes truth isn't good enough.
So I don't really like the way that this is looking. So I'm gonna go for a different look. So I'm gonna cover up all this gray. So it's okay if you, you know, if you are doing something and it doesn't really look the way that you want it to look, you could always just try to find ways to cover up your mistakes. That's okay, because it's not gonna be perfect, and that's all right. We're just trying to create some art. There we go. Okay. we got most of the gray for his suit. Now what we're going to do, we're going to add a darker shade of gray to give the image some depth. So wherever you think there will be some shadows, I'm going to go in with this darker shade of gray and just put some shadows in there. Okay, now on to the bat symbol. And do all the yellow. Give Batman a nice contrast. So I originally planned for this pouch to be gold or yellow like his belt, but I think it might be a nice little touch to give Batman a leather pouch. And I'm going to be using 2 tones of brown to give him just to try to give the pouch some sense of depth. Okay, and you know, I think our Batman could use some menacing yellow eyes.
Because that's what needs to happen. Because sometimes truth isn't good enough.
And then we need Batman's skin tone. And this is a very, very light skin tone, very light color. So it tends to bleed very easily. So I like to work from the inside out towards those darker colors, so I don't bring them into the so I don't bring them into the color and make it all muddy looking. Alright, so now we got the majority of our coloring done. I'm gonna add, go over the black a little bit. Okay, so I got my colored pencils right here, and right now I'm using white and yellow. So I want to add some sense of depth to this picture, so I'm going to start adding in some highlights. I'm going to add a touch of gray under his bat emblem, just to give him, just to try to give it a little bit more depth. Thinking maybe add some like a little wear and tear on his little bat symbol on his chest. Just might make it pop a little bit more. So I am actually pretty happy about how Batman has turned out. There's one more thing that I want to do. I'm gonna give him an outline. Just go over some of these areas. Hopefully I'll just make him pop a little bit more.
Because that's what needs to happen. Because sometimes truth isn't good enough.
And then, let's see, the last little touch. We're just gonna give Batman a little shadow. His feet. Just a little touch. Just there. I think our Batman is finished. I had a lot of fun drawing this picture with you. I hope that you followed along with me and had a great time getting this picture done. Well, please stay tuned for the next one and join me again real soon.